Hey all! Welcome to All It All Goes Back to Sonic, the only Sonic podcast in the entire internet. I'm Harvek. With me are my casual co-hosts. We got MegaFire, Dorko for you, and my good friend Bob. How are you guys doing today?
That's me. I'm sleep deprived. I didn't have like my good sleep medicine last night before I went to work. I woke up like blech.
He didn't have the good shit. He didn't have the good stuff.
Shit.
I like how you say that's me, like all of that was your name. Your name is...
He's all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, case in point, I'm a very sleepy boy. I'm ready to talk about some Sonic comics.
Well, Bob, what did we read this week?
Super Special 1. I forget the name of it. It
was Battle
Royale.
Something. Yeah. And then it was a straight all the way up to 50. 47 through 50, yeah.
Though
but just to be clear, we read a special variant of 50.
That's right.
Yep.
We did the director's cut.
We read the George Lucas version.
Apparently, if I read this right, like after they did this director's cut, like it replaced the original whenever they printed it, basically.
Oh, I didn't know that. Where did you read that?
I read it on the blog, so I don't know what the source was, but
I'd like to ask what's different in the cut, at least once we get to that point.
Yeah, I should have read the original 50.
I skimmed through it, but you know.
Oh, well then I'll rely on you, because I actually, throughout all of my readings, don't think I've ever, or if I did, it was probably like the first time I read through the comics, I read the original 50, but not, ever since then, I think I've always read the director's cut, so I'd love to hear what the differences are.
I love the terminology director's cut for a comic book.
Is that uncommon in comics? Are there instances of this?
I've never heard it used for a comic, I'll tell you that.
How about like just the concept like of a director's cut type thing? Is that like a thing that they do with comics, like a reprint of an issue with like more content in it or something?
I'll be honest, not that I know of.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I'm thinking about it, and I'm just thinking about how there's Sonic Adventure DX director's cut. Sonic loves its director's cuts.
Sonic loves to cut the director.
Whoa. Okay, it all goes back to Crash.
Okay, yeah, but Bob, let's start. So we're starting with the Sonic Super Special number 1. Our first in that
number
miniseries.
1 Victory Royale.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
I'll actually say the summary of this one for you if you want. So, Sonic and Knuckles download PUBG, but Knuckles downloaded the wrong client, and it's actually a cheated client. And so Tails has to save the day by also downloading PUBG.
I read a different one.
DJ Khaled shows up too. It's a little weird.
What?
DJ Khaled.
All right, Bob, give us the real summary.
The Freedom Fighters arrive floating on to hear from Knuckles. But what's so funny?
I don't know the way the just smooth transition into it. Like you're immediately like, all right, well here we go.
Yeah, shut up, MG.
It's just been sitting on the file for like a minute. But the Chaotix show up and try to tell the gang off, saying Knuckles only wants to hang out with the Chaotix. I'm going to stutter like 50 times because I'm so sleepy. Please forgive me. They get into a big fight. Then Rotor uses the glue device to stick the Chaotix into place while they go find Knuckles, find out what's up. The Freedom Fighters bump into the whole of the Chaotix and Knuckles as they get into another fight all of a sudden. The Freedom Fighters retort saying that Knuckles held on to the sword for like a month and intended to keep it. However, Knuckles was like, oh, what the fuck? I only just found it. What are you talking about? And there's a thing on the top right of this page that says, confused to your reader? Yes, I had to go all the way back to the beginning to see if I forgot something in the summary. It's very messed up. So that's That's part one. Part two is that they get into another big fight. Meanwhile, Mammoth Mogul is scheming, and he apparently vaporizes both gangs in one fell swoop, but we'll see what actually happened in a second. Turns out he was using illusion magic to trick everybody into thinking they were fighting each other when they were actually fighting his guys. But as it turns out...
his little dudes.
His little dudes. It turns out Sally knew something was up. So she had the game pretend to fight, hide everybody inside of a bunch of Dulce's flames, and have Archimedes, he's also there by the way, teleport them away before they could get blown up. Everybody gets into a fight with the big man, and then there's this reaction between Archimedes' Chaos Emerald and Mammoth's, causing the Mammoth to disappear. He leaves them with the sword, which is taken to finally restore the king back to health, but it turns out Mammoth got away with the real sword.
Confused, dear readers?
That's that. I think that's it. And after that was like the thing called the map, which we'll get to later.
Did you guys get confused? I mean, Bob,
yes.
Sounds like you did.
My brain hurt.
I think the plot is cool, but there is definitely something, like when they broke it down at the very end where they're like, well, yeah, it didn't make sense when we thought about it because there was only 4 of the freedom fighters and there was only 4 of the chaotics, and that's really weird. And I was like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense.
I did like that one little note where it's like, and Sonic said something like, yeah, and Mighty and I go way back, and then they're like, we'll explain this in a later issue.
I completely forgot about that.
I think they wanted to connect it to Sonic... oh my god, my knowledge is fading.
Sonic the Hedgehog, the arcade game.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, the arcade game. Which this issue would have come out in 1996, 5. Well, when did this come out? I'm wondering now. Like, I'm doing this live because I actually don't know. Arcade game. When did that come out? 1993. Okay, so it would have already been out by the time this was published, because this has to be around the 1995, 1996 range. So that, I mean, maybe that's what they were trying to set up here at first. Maybe they were thinking, oh, maybe we'll do a special of that. The answer, they do answer on that. Like they actually do make good on that promise. They do tell a story about these two later.
Or do they?
No, they do. I'd love to share.
I'm trying to stir some doubt in the viewers.
No, okay, yeah, you're right. We don't know. I want to share something that I put together like right before the podcast. I was telling the boys, I'm like, wait, I gotta do something. It is a collage of specifically Anton in this specific issue. Specifically this story, because I can't, like, there's no way to explain why I thought this was the funniest thing ever. Is for the first time while reading this, I had just realized that Anton basically had two expressions in this whole comic every time he appeared, and he appeared like maybe 8 times. I have made the collage, and it will be, of course, in the show notes, and it is very good. Also, the faces just in general were pretty great in this issue. There's one, like, in the collage, bunny. Well, there's a bunny face that's just really cute, and a Sally face that's really unfortunate. But Anton, the most calm, cool, and collected member of the Freedom Fighters. Who did this one, Dorko? Who did the story? Who was the artist and the writers?
Ken Taylor and Ken Penders wrote it, and then the artist was a newcomer. It's Sam Maxwell.
Sam Maxwell, #1 Anton fan. I guess
this is like the smuggest Antoine that's ever been drawn.
He really gave Anton the special. The art is really interesting. I think it's cute. I think I like it. There's some weird ditties here and there, but I think overall I quite enjoyed the change of pace, I guess, so to speak. It like kind of feels like it's familiar, but it's different at the same time. Like, I feel like when we go from like artist to artist in the comic right now, in this era of the comic, it's like, this was Mawani who did it. this was Manic who did it. Like this was Ken Penders who did this one. I feel like we can kind of tell who the artist is between, but like when this one hit, it was like, oh, it's probably one of them, but it's like I couldn't quite like put my finger. I'm like, which one is this? Yeah, it's a new one.
Who dat?
I was wondering if wait, did you ask a question or?
Oh, I was just gonna say any thoughts on this this story?
Fun. I thought it was alright. I like the mammoth guy.
Oh, I'm glad you do, because he becomes more prominent later.
I don't know, it's just like his big old suit.
I think it's funny because he tears. They tear his underwear or his pants.
Yeah, big imposing villain. Look at this.
Yeah, it's because it's like they tear, like, before they defeat him, they've torn his pants and you just see his polka dot underpants. But then like they deem to like not use cartoon logic and repair it. Like at the very end of the thing where he's like teleported back and he's like, those fools, I wasn't actually defeated, I tricked them, and then he's just still sitting there with his torn underpants or like torn pants. That's pretty good.
That's his power.
Also, Sally did the Sonic Adventure pose before Sonic Adventure existed.
Sally is a trendsetter.
So true.
I really didn't like the art in this one.
Really? Oh.
I wasn't a huge fan, I have to admit.
Damn, that's fair. Not everybody.
Hey, MegaFire, you sound offended.
I was just...
especially some of these Tails images. I should have screenshot these. By the way, I posted an image of Flying Frog.
Yeah. I mean... Fucking Flying Frog. What a stupid name.
So that one, and
yeah, there were unfortunate. There was unfortunate. I should have made a Tails collage instead. Wait, you forgot. There's a good one with freaking Gorilla Grodd or whatever his name is.
Gorilla Grodd.
I forget what his name. Guerrilla Warfare was Sergeant Simeon.
Gorilla.
Sergeant Simeon.
Gorilla.
You went to
I wish it was Guerrilla Warfare.
I can remember his name.
You went to every horrible possibility before the pun.
Bro, listen, it's Sergeant Simeon. Okay, to be completely honest, that is probably a pretty creative name for that. I just went defaulted to the not creative versions.
Gorilla Grodd. I like it when this character goes and tries to kill Barack Obama.
And the Flash.
Of course.
Damn, I can't believe the Flash is in Sonic, the Sonic Hedgehog.
Sonic Hedgehog.
Sonic Hedgehog. Okay. Yeah, that's all I really had on this issue. It was fun, I guess. Yeah, okay. Art's not for everyone.
one more. One more. All right, I'm done.
All right, Cap, give Sonic a line based on this face right now.
All right.
I killed Mr. House because he wanted me to pay taxes.
All right.
I apologize. That is an incorrect quote. I killed President Kimball.
I killed Dr. House.
I merged two Fallout characters in my head into one. Don't mind me.
All right, I think that's all I've got on this one. If we're good on this, let's move to the second story in it, because I love the second story more than the first one.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The map parts 1 and 2. Antoine finds a map. I think I didn't specify in this part of the notes that it's actually only half of a map. He finds it as everybody prepares to go to war against Robotnik. There's a lot of words in a fake French accent, so I think I personally just found this very hard to read. Antoine, before he goes and does this thing, he wants to be able to give a complete report on what he sees. So basically, he wants to take a sewer to a part of Metropolis on his own without help. Meanwhile, Snively and his own private army of Eggbots go digging into this part of Robotropolis to find Crudzo seedlings. Antoine arrives and overhears Snively's plans. He decides to sneak back out to tell the others what's up, but he slips on some pipes, which alerts the guards. Part 2, Antoine escapes the pursuit in the sewer and finds Uncle Chuck in there. As the freedom fighters had shown up to investigate seismic activity, Antoine reported there to Robotropolis to help the gang in the fight with some Eggbots, which are apparently a lot stronger than the SWAT bots and anything else that I should add. Robotnik's SWAT bots also arrive, but they aren't after the gang. The freedom fighters take advantage of this distraction so that they can leave, albeit without the other half of Antoine's map. Afterward, Robotnik is very upset as he heard from an anonymous source that Snively had robots stronger than his SWAT bots. Snively lies, claiming that they were digging robots, doing whatever to get off the hook. I forget his full excuse, but he basically lied and called them digging robots.
Yeah, that's basically what it was, I think. He was like experimenting on a toxin and he was just using the bots to dig. And in case nobody remembers what the Cudzos are, that was like that very early on, like, I mean, I think within the first 10, 20 issues, those plant monsters that Robotnik unleashed that would eat everything like in sight, and so that's what those were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dorko, who is the artist and the writer for this one?
Oh, apparently the writer was Tom Rolston. This must be his first one, and then the artist was Dave Manick.
Yeah, the styles. So this was awesome. I don't know. I love this one because it just Anton was just kick ass throughout it. I have a couple of good screenshots that like. This is just the Anton fanboy speaking, so maybe I'm biased, but they gave him time to shine, and he's just cool as hell. He's got like the whole like undercover green beret outfit on, camo pants, black shirt. He's got his sword. He's on his on his back. Slashes one of those Eggbots in half. Oh, speaking of the Eggbots, it's like they're very similar to the ones from Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
I thought they were the ones. Yeah,
the Egg Robos. Yeah.
Yes.
I
liked his. I didn't specify. I liked his war outfit. I thought it looked cool. I wasn't thinking about it until he said it.
Yeah. But
also, Robotnik sure is stupid, not picking up that Snively's planning mutiny.
Damn.
Just my 2 cents.
I agree with you. Actually, I think it's kind of funny now that you mention it that like the setup for Snively's like constant betrayal of Robotnik has been sort of obvious to us, but because of the way that it feels kind of serialized, I never really thought about it. But like really, there was like a lot of hints like for the future issues here of like Snively's inevitable attempt to coup against the good Dr. Robotnik.
Doctor.
The good Doctor.
The good doctor.
Any thoughts on this one? I just think it's great. Honestly, I would say like just read it if y'all can. I
liked it. I like the little Eggbot chase. I think it's neat that they showed up.
I liked it when Anton did the rules of nature meme.
Yeah, slashes the Eggbot in half.
Yeah.
He uses a ring to power up, so this kind of gives us an idea that rings are not exclusive to Sonic.
It's a little weird seeing the Egg Robos, I'm not going to lie. It's been a little while since we've actually seen an in-game Badnik again.
True. It has been. Like, haven't seen Badniks for a while.
And they're actually mingling with, like, SWAT bots and stuff, too, so.
Yeah, you see them, like, fight each other, kind of. Not really. They just fly in, and so it looks like it's like all of them are fighting the freedom fighters.
Yeah.
I do feel like the writer laid the accent on a little too thick. I'm like, I've
Yeah,
learned,
I couldn't read it. I couldn't take it, dude.
it's like I've learned what's worse than reading Knuckles' long monologues to himself. It's Antoine monologuing to himself. I couldn't. I just could not. It was just too much for me.
I agree. I agree with that take 100%. I still love the story though. I still love Anton.
Yeah, I even like this one. It was just impossible to read.
I thought it was fine. I felt like it could have been better. I mean, I did get some enjoyment out of seeing him do stuff, and like actually being able to use the power ring and fight robots and whatnot. It's cool, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for this one. Say we move on to the main stories. So we go to issue 47. Before Bob, you give us the summary. Mind giving us the writer and the artist? I think it's the same throughout all of these, right, Dorko?
Kind of, but also no. I think the only common thing writing-wise is that Ken Penders is writing is in all of them, but then other people are also writing in some of the issues. I don't quite grasp how that worked and how that happened, but
Maybe like for specific characters or specific sets of characters, there was like a co-writer. I honestly, I have no idea either. I did notice that. I just didn't think about it too much. I think the first one is just Ken Penders, right? And Art Mawani is the artist.
Yeah, this was my favorite art-wise.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. The artist does change throughout. I think almost all of them, right?
Oh yeah.
Each issue is a different artist.
Especially number 50.
Especially number 50. All right, Bob, give us the summary.
All right, one moment, please. Okay. As the fighters begin their assault, not the word "as" at the beginning. However, Sally is uneasy because of King Ichor's claim that Sonic is a traitor. Climbing down a wall with Sonic to infiltrate the fortress, Sally is under attack, is saved, but it appears up top, Sonic, from atop the wall, takes a knife and cuts the rope Sally is using to climb, and plummets to the bottom. Sonic arrives at Robotnik's room, meanwhile, but Robotnik pushes the laser button, and he gets away. To set off all the lasers in the room button. Meanwhile, Sally is unconscious on the ground. Everyone decides to get her out of the battlefield for medical help back in Nahal. Sonic catches up outside to find Sally, just to find everyone gone. He makes his way to the doctors, and then as it turns out, Sally didn't make it. Sonic arrives and is put under arrest.
The King is awfully suspicious throughout this one. He's
Yes.
very off character. He's very militant.
Something's very off.
Kind of a bitch, to be honest.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, he's just being a good leader, that's all.
You gotta be tough in these hard times. And if that means destroying your own kingdom, damn it, you gotta do it.
I do like the setup for this. Like, it's like, oh, this is the big operation. You got like the wolf pack, and you have Doc Quack here with us.
It was like when I'm reading this, I was like getting into it, and then my first moment of being like, what? Is like when I saw the fucking quack doctor was there. I was like, why is he here?
He's also confused. He's like, I don't
a war
understand.
medic.
I'm a doctor, not a commando.
Dude, gotta
No,
pull
I
that
will say,
classic
like-
Star Trek quote.
Even though I wasn't a fan of him in his first appearance, he was fine in this plot. So
Oof, the fucking syrup leaking from your other. Fine. Yeah.
The syrup.
When did this comic come out specifically? Do you happen to know?
I can tell you.
Please do.
I believe it was 1996.
anytime
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
okay.
post this because I laughed at when Rotor whipped out the huge gun.
Yeah,
like, he has the fucking the BFG.
1997.
97.
And this
Okay.
is the same gun that he pointed out in like one of our earlier episodes in the issue where he's testing his big ass gun.
If I know the common thing would be like, "Oh, I'm not a doc. I'm a doctor, not a commando." You know, it's like, oh, he's doing the Star Trek thing.
Can you elaborate? Because I don't know what the hell that means.
In the original Star Trek series, Captain Kirk would tell Dr. McCoy something, and he would usually respond with, "Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a blah, 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 blah," whatever it is at the time. So in this case, it's commando.
That's pretty good. I didn't even realize that was a reference. That's actually really
Hold
good.
on, I've got even nerdier stuff to tell you. The next year in Star Trek Voyager, the year after this comic came out, they used this exact line in Voyager.
I'm a doctor, not a commando.
I'm a doctor, not a commando.
Oh, that's I can't. The Star Trek, obviously, the writers were reading Sonic the Hedgehog.
Of course.
By Archie.
Yeah, you know.
Published by Archie.
Yeah, freaking Rick Williams or whoever did it, you know.
Something I wanted to point out about this issue is the fact that the plot seems really like thick. I don't know how to put it. Like kind of a fucked up plot line, right? Like, so, like if we're thinking about this, like if it's a kids comic, I guess I don't. Yeah, their obvious intended audience is children, and it's like they've got Sally dying on screen. They've got Sonic being framed for murder. The bad guy gets away. It's a good setup, but it's like, wow, was this allowed? I mean, it's fine. I don't mind it. I like the plot. Like, I like the setup of, you know, Sally dies. I like it when Sally dies.
Amy Rose.
I like it when she breaks every bone in her body. I like this. Art was pretty consistent, I think. And I like the whole setup. It was neat. I liked it.
This was good. This was a good Dr. Quack like face.
I was wondering if maybe I was the only one who felt this way, but I part of me was like kind of into this, but also like the fact that like this is just yet another plot line of like something pretending to be Sonic to frame him, and like we're doing this again. I'm tired.
You go ahead, Bob.
Well, I kind of agree. As much as I did like it, they sure used like the whole trickery thing a lot. And then at the end, it's gonna spoilers. It's gonna turn out it's a lot of bullshit.
We technically even just went through that with the special. It was like everybody being tricked, but it's like I'm sick of this shit.
I agree with you. I do agree that this specific, like, oh, what's the word? Not MacGuffin, but this
plot thread.
Is it plot thread? It's like this plot device is exhausted. I think this is probably the best of those. Like, even when you get to the end and you find out how it was done, you're like, I came to the terms that like this is the best way they did it. Like, it's kind of bullshit, but it also is like, okay, if I was the Freedom Fighters and I saw this, if I was Anton and if I was Bunny and I saw this, it's not like looking at a monitor and seeing an obviously metal man coming at you and be like, Sonic, I can't believe it. You know, it's like, this is a much better use of that. You know, aside from the fact that one time Sonic was brainwashed, of like the trickery aspect of it, it's like, I think this is the better use case. However, the fact that they've exhausted this device is utterly true. It is at first I was like, I forgot that they fall for a bullshit again. Because like I always remember the latter half of this plot.
In fact, wasn't there another one that was specifically like Sonic getting framed or something like that?
Yeah. But that one was, I don't even remember what the fuck that one was regarded. Like Sonic He gets framed so much. Sonic's under arrest because he was oh man, what was that one? Do you guys remember? Someone with Amy like chanting "Free Sonic" or whatever.
Because he ran off.
Right, he disobeyed
and
orders.
got attacked by Knack.
Well,
Not
they
really
thought he
framed.
did, but actually Knack just beat him up.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so the setup to this is really I kind of like it because there's like some what's the word, things happening simultaneously. You've got, the freedom fighters waiting for Sally's signal, Sally and Sonic climbing the building to like get an egress into or an ingress into the Robotnik HQ. Something like seems to hint that Sally isn't up to snuff. She like has a headache, she's nervous. And then it looks like Sonic is getting ready to jump into the not great, but yeah, the vent. And then Sally's still climbing, and then the next scene is literally them defending from lasers, the freedom fighters intercepting it, and then you see Sonic like cut the rope and Sally drops. And then all the while like the freedom fighters go to try and like save Sally, thinking she's hurt, she needs help, and that kind of sets the wolf pack up to go in because they're also waiting for the signal to attack. So it kind of turns into a bit of chaos. Things are kind of crazy, and it sort of ends up being that the plot is messed up because in the same moment you get like Sonic, as everybody's like waiting over Sally's body trying to figure out, is she okay? You get Sonic, who's attacking Robotnik and going through his freaking Disco Palace laser show, his deadly laser show, while he takes a giant slide away. And it's like this, like, I don't know. I think it's really cool that there's like all these different aspects of it. Because while that's all happening, the gang leaves to take Sally back to Knothold in order to save her. And it's like Sonic feels like he thought he was abandoned. So it's like, they're kind of making it, the pacing is good.
Yeah, I just posted like I really liked how smug Robotnik and Timely were.
Oh, Robotnik was
Goodness.
good. It was like a weird mix of like really serious plot stuff, and then like you get like a very cartoony but threatening Robotnik. Very good. But yeah, that's my comprehensive overview of this issue.
See, I liked it. I'm sorry, but I agree with what Dorka said. They use that fucking plot device too much, so I'm like trying to figure out why I didn't hate it. So I'm not sure if I have like a peanut brain that forgot like the last 40 episodes across the months, or if it's because I have like Stockholm syndrome from reading too much Sonic.
Stockholm syndrome of Sonic. I could never relate.
Dark, yeah, Sonic, #1 Sonic Forces enjoyer in the house.
I'm half joking though. I didn't like it.
Dorko, for you, can you tell me, like, aside from that, like the fact that the plot, you enjoyed it still, right? Like, or is there more thoughts to that?
I feel like I was enjoying it, and I feel like the plot line of the whole distrust thing did kind of take the wind out of my sails. Like, I feel like I was kind of excited for this arc to see what it was about, and for that to be a huge part of it, like I think like this first issue.
Yeah, I did walk out of it. I have to say, I did walk out of this not feeling like it. I went in excited because it's like the big end game. I thought it would be not more of that, but it kind of was. If that makes sense.
I also just didn't think about it. I'm with you, Bob. Like, I didn't actually like you're right. Like, in retrospect, in analysis, you're correct. However, it does set up a pretty interesting like Sonic chase across the, race against time type deal, which I like.
Yeah.
So I can't really say I didn't dislike the use of it here, because yes, it's stupid that there was probably a better way to get Sonic like out of the picture to like race back into it, but I guess the way that they set it up sucks, but also I kind of don't mind because of the results. We can get into that when we actually get to those issues that cover that part. But like the whole Sonic the Fugitive, I mean, not a spoiler, literally the next issue 48, they repainted the ending, or like the cover art, to literally say Sonic and then it's like in like red drippy paint, the Fugitive. I think
starring Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's a very like it really do be that way though. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we can get into it.
I just wanted to nitpick, point out this one line that it just kind of had me chuckle, because I think it was like a back and forth between like Rotor and Antoine, I think. But then Rotor's like, "Who else would have flown the plane back?" And I'm like, maybe that other guy who's been flying planes in this comic.
No, nobody else.
Nah.
No, just Anton, dude.
Nah.
Anton's like, I should have stayed and fight, because the wolf pack stayed behind to cover their retreat, and he's just like, I should have stayed and fight, but no, he's got to drive the plane. Yeah, so issue 48, it was written by Kent Taylor and Ken Penders.
Yeah,
and then the artist was Manny Gallen. Right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Manny Gallen. All right, Bob. Give us the summary.
Number 48. Number 48.
48. Very
Sonic
cool.
is escorted to a plane, a prisoner plane of some sort, while Knothole cries for the loss of Sally, with Chuck being maybe the one person who believes Sonic didn't actually kill her. Some SWAT bots send the prisoner plane crashing down, leaving everybody unconscious, except for Sonic, who escapes and finally understands the meaning of war. He escapes to a cave, relives some memories of Uncle Chuck trying to deal with the king, who is suspiciously hiding Sally's medical report, and falls asleep. Meanwhile at Knothole, Antoine and Sally, I heard the Discord notification, I already know what got posted. Meanwhile, Antoine and Sally snoop around. I wrote Sally. I think I meant to write Bunny. My mistake. They're snooping around King Acorn's number one guy, Drago the Wolfman. They overhear that Saint Skunk has been ordered to chase down Sonic and kill him. They snoop around some more, but get bonked in the head by some SWAT bots that are working for Drago the Wolf. John the Skunk arrives at the cave where Sonic is hiding, and the two get into a big fight. Meanwhile, at King Acorn's office, throne, I can't tell which one it is, the king expresses dissatisfaction with his troop and is pleased to announce he's replacing everybody with his new warlord, Dr. Robotnik. Robotnik comes in the door, equipped with some sort of Green Lantern shit on his left arm, blocks a gunshot from Rotor and finger beams him back. It is my favorite part of this issue. He then says everyone is in need of an attitude adjustment, implying that he's going to roboticize everybody. Finally, we look back at the fight between Sonic and St. John. Sonic KOs him, except not really, and leaves the cave jumping toward a waterfall. Did we, I can't remember, did Robotnik have something like this where he has like some Chaos Emerald energy, then shoots finger beams? I feel like he had that before, or was that new to
Sonic
this?
Sonic Quest, he fought Sonic with some like powered glove, so this is like an improved version of that. Because remember, he like held his own, like he had the suit that gave him power, but he also had like a glove version, I think. Also, maybe not in Sonic Quest, but he used something like this before. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is actually kind of a cool continuity pull, where it's like, before it was, it gave him like a bit of a, not upper hand, but he an even playing field. But then like, obviously he made adjustments, he improved, and Sonic wasn't there because he got rid of him. He got him out of the picture, which was something. So this is kind of what I was talking about, where I was like, how else would he? I mean, like, it could have been like Robotnik directly doing something to get Sonic out of the picture, which probably would have been better. But I can't imagine what he would do to do that. And then also like get St. John out of the picture. It's like kind of like they were trying to get all the big like. I hesitate to put St. John in the same like basket as like Sonic for threat level, but like in like air of importance, like all the big people who could have defended against this situation out of the way, besides the other freedom fighters, which it seems like with his like like surprise attack and everybody's sort of state of confusion and shock, was easy to kind of circumvent. Yeah. Okay. To go back to something that Harvek posted during the sorry.
I've seen this panel in memes like years ago, so it's nice to finally actually get to the part where it's from.
I would love to read out this whole section because I feel like it'll add to this, but Sonic, so like to go off of what Bob summary was, they crashed, so the SWAT bots crashed the airplane. Everybody's unconscious inside. And they're scanning, the SWAT bots are scanning, and the sensors are detecting Sonic the Hedgehog, says Sonic. Those are the last words Sonic utters. Not one single joke or wisecrack escapes his lips. For the first time in his life, Sonic is devoid of humor. For the first time in his life, Sonic truly understands the meaning of war. His body is on autopilot as he fights like never before. This is fortunate, for his brain is otherwise occupied. Faster than he himself could ever travel, images flash before him, dominating his every thought. He sees the prone body of Princess Sally. He sees the look on his friends' faces. He sees himself in chains. Only when he further burdens his confidence, realizing he has inadvertently destroyed a possible supply of survival equipment, does his mind regain control, making him aware that his minor battle is over, and it is once again time to take flight. Thundercrack.
And then you get that beautiful art piece.
Yeah, the little ending where all the kids send in their fan art, muscle bound Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Uncle Chuck is drawn really cool in this.
It's very distracting and
It's so distracting. Why do they do that? He's like,
why does he look evil?
He didn't. His eyes are red. He looks so. He's HD in a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. Okay, I'll be real. When you read it out like that, it's like if you read that without context, you're like, wow, that's a cool, like, prisoner of war story. And then you look at it in Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's just a little distracting on how eloquently that's written.
Slightly, yeah.
For the context. I think it's cool, but that's because I'm a special brand of loser.
When I read like the line of like Sonic truly understands the meaning of war, I just thought that sounds like a line from Sonic Forces.
Oh my god. Damn it, we are not so different, you and I.
And then I proceeded to listen to Sonic Forces OST as I read the rest of this.
It does fit, doesn't it? This is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, it all goes back to Sonic. Oh my god, even Sonic goes back to Sonic.
The cycle never ends.
The Sonic cycle is just a loop-de-loop.
It's just a loop-de-loop. Any other thoughts?
Comically evil.
Something I just thought was funny
in
is
St. John.
as I just read this and I'm just seeing Amy just being there, I was like, Amy, I forgot she's in this comic.
Hi, Amy. Bye, Amy.
But she doesn't say anything, but I was like, oh, hey, yeah, she's still around, isn't she?
Oh, did you mention the fact that Bunny and Anton get kidnapped?
I think I missed that part, unfortunately.
He is right at the tail end of the comic, so Anton is like suspicious because he's like, why would King Acorn call in St. John and Drago of all people, like for a private meeting? So him and Bunny start to spy on Drago. They listen into him and Hershey, the cat, who he's been smooth on this whole time, and she's very uncomfortable with that apparently. Very, very bad man, and they learn that there's a coup happening, like they've been planning against the kingdom, and so the two of them continue to try and follow him, and they get knocked out by SWAT bots. What's that? SWAT bots in Knot Hole Village? That's kind of cool in a way, because it's like the way that they set it up is like one of those.
Yeah, because I like the whole like, holy shit, they made it to Knot Hole finally after like 50 episodes.
Exactly. And also the way that they set it up is like MG, I need your help. I feel like this is like in movies where it's like the enemy kind of like coming out of the shadows in like the area of safety, like that trope. I feel like it was used commonly in like spy films or like war films. Like do you know what I mean? I feel like there's some like popular media that has this kind of like trope, I guess.
I'm sure it does. I don't think there's a name for it.
Okay. Well, I really liked that. Like that whole like he literally is just standing in the forest and the SWAT bots just kind of emerge from the shadows like between trees. I think it's really cool. And then like two of our heroes are just like taken out. Like they're gone. Like they're removed from the rest of this issue specifically. Because there's like a big meeting where the big reveal is Dr. Robotnik is the new warlord to try and restore peace to the kingdom. So it's a very neat situation, I think.
Just win the
going
race.
back to when you were saying something about like how this story is just kind of, I don't know, serious and edgy, I guess, with Sonic the Hedgehog. I think the one aspect that maybe is like, maybe this is a bit too far and kind of fucked up was when they gave Drago a girlfriend and he's physically abusive towards. Like, what the fuck?
That was a little like.
I guess they really wanted to vilify him because he kind of appears before as a. Well, okay. Let me. I understand what you mean. I actually thought about this. I was like trying to figure out how to put that earlier, and I was talking about it, and I decided to kind of skirt around it because, in my mind, the way I looked at it, it was like you have the dichotomy of like the serious traitor, right? You have Sleuth Doggy Dog, by the way, fantastic name still, who it was a serious betrayal, but he kind of is like nobody. He kind of is like, well, you knew he worked for Uncle Chuck and the spy network. He betrayed everybody, and they turned into robots because of it. His direct like lines of contact, Fly Freddy specifically, rip in peace, man. We love you, we miss you. But that's really it. He's bad. He's a bad guy because he is a traitor. Right. With Drago, the last time we met him is like, well, every instance we met is he's part of the dog pack. They're the wolf pack, sorry, and they're supposed to be like good allies. It hasn't been really shown a lot, but every time they've shown, they've been shown in a positive light. You also may know them from the cartoon. So, so I think the reason maybe they wrote him like this is because they really wanted to vilify him. Like, this is this character, these are his motivations, and he is just not a good person. Like, at the core, it is not a desperation that drives him. It is just, he is selfish and he is self-centered, and even though he's part of this group that is very virtuous, he's the bad apple of the bunch. It's maybe... I don't think it's terrible what they do with it, especially when you look at the whole of the story, because in the beginning you're like, well, why is Hershey doing this? What's happening? And you realize that they were actually in a relationship, and this selfishness is really, the greed is really what's driving him, like to the point where he's just like, you need to like cut the shit out because we can't let the plan fall apart, basically, which I don't think it's too bad. Like it sucks. It's a bad, but I think it works to drive the fact that he is a vilified individual.
I mean,
it's still a little weird to be in a Sonic the Hedgehog comic, though.
It's the bad guy, make him do bad things, but it's like, maybe this specific part was just a little too fucking, it's a little too heavy to put in Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know, man.
Fair enough.
Don't take
that tone with me. I'll link that. Actually, this is probably the most like, when I read that, it was like, whoa. No, I'll you know what? I'll even capture I'll send the face that Anton and Bunny had. Me reading the comic, both of them at the same time. I mean, they accurately portray it right there.
I can't believe they wrote that.
Whoa.
I have the fucking 4 kids Eggman quote in my head now. I'll go buttersize half the planet, but when you abuse a woman, that's going too far.
Dr. Robotnik does not. He kicks Drago out of the group. I am a feminist.
Yes.
He is actually officially canon. He is a self-proclaimed feminist.
You know, it's been a while
for
since
him.
I read this, but I remember like the whole thing is that it was like in the Sonic Heroes manual. It calls Eggman a feminist. I remember seeing someone say it was a mistranslation. It was supposed to be womanizer, which I think just makes that really funny and unfortunate.
Oh, that's really good. I had no idea. I always just went with the fact that, you know, he just really thinks highly of himself.
I mean, I'd have to double check, but yeah.
Oh, isn't it a little fucked up that Tasmanian remember this, by the way, everybody. The Tasmanian Tasmanian devils are not a fully evolved Mobian species. I need you all to remember this. This is not a joke. Remember it for like 250 issues out.
I need you to remember this for like 2 months.
Gotcha.
No, I need you to remember.
Minimum.
No, I'm sorry. No, 2 months isn't enough. I need you to remember this out like for like three or 4 months out. Okay, I don't know how long it'll take us to get there, but just this is important.
But it's one of the time capsule, ladies and gentlemen.
What were we talking about?
The issue number 40.
The Tasmanian here. I'll link this. Remember this fact from Jeffrey St. John.
I'm not.
Oh yeah, this is such a good scene, Bob. The
Yeah,
scene where
they're ugly and they're smelly and they're shitty and they suck ass. Anyway, I like the page that I like this issue for like this page alone, but also I liked Uncle Chuck being mad and actually looking out for Sonic. I thought that was neat. But also this page, because I like the whole, oh, holy shit, Robotic made it to an owl. But also this very short scene where Rotor pulls a fucking gun and tries to blast him in the face, but his finger beats him back.
I did think that part was actually really cool.
I love this whole like, oh dude, the way he like smacks Mutsky and Uncle Chuck's head into each other. Damn, this is threatening. Evil.
So this is the final issue, right?
Nope, next issue.
We're on 49, not 50.
I know. I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
What was the joke?
I meant to say this is the climax to the finale, and that 50 would be the last issue.
Oh, we're still 49. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is the climax to the arc. To the saga? Question mark.
I think Saga would be probably more accurate.
The Robotnik saga.
The Robotnik saga. Yeah, the classic saga, I should say.
So,
Ugh.
you said this was 97, right?
This is 98.
98?
Yeah. So now we're on 90. Sorry.
90? What?
97.
I'm 49.
97.
I'm
No,
so
sorry.
confused.
I'm talking about the year. Okay. Yes, we're all confused. This was published in 1997. Just to
All right,
I'm
so
sleep
Don't
deprived, so
cut
it took me
all
like
that
a hot minute to realize we transitioned to talking about years.
sorry. I'm
I'm a dumbass, I'm sorry.
no, I'm
No,
I'm well
also-
known for just changing topics out of nowhere.
No, but the audience is going to be like, Bob, of course you're talking about the years. Why are you talking?
Dude, I wasn't talking about the years. I said, no, this is 98 because I was trying to say, no, this is 48.
We're all out of it, I think.
All right, Bob, give us the well. First off, Dorka, who are the writers and the authors? Sorry, the writers and the artists for 49.
Mike Gallagher and Ken Penders wrote this one, and Sam Maxwell is the artist.
Mike Gallagher and Ken Penders together? Wow.
Wow.
That's a powerful duo.
Go ahead, Bob.
So to avoid falling to his death, Sonic takes his shoe, takes some mud out, throws it really fast, and then runs on the midair trail of mud to break his fall.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in Nahal, King Acorn was surprising nobody, a robot replica all along. Elsewhere in Robotropolis, I think it was Robotropolis, Snively forces Dr. Quack to work for him, threatening the lives of his family, and Snively also has the real King Acorn still stuck in his half-emerald state. Back with Sonic, he does a high-pitched whistle to call for Dulcie the Dragon's help, and the two fly away from St. Jeffrey's gang. Elsewhere, we see Wolfman and the unfortunate Catwoman Hershey again. He tells her to put the head back on, and she puts on some kind of Sonic mask. Looks in a mirror, and apparently she looks like Snively. What could this mean? Wolfo Dog reveals that the mask contains Dr. Robotnik's nanomachines, explaining why everyone thought that Sonic killed Sally. Bunny and Antoine, elsewhere, are taken prisoner. Two of the Down Under freedom fighters come to rescue, but are ambushed by Mr. Crockbot. I think this is the same guy from a previous issue. I don't even remember which. But Dulcie and Sonic arrive on the floating island and get clocked by Knuckles for showing up on the island without consent. Thanks, Knuckles. Sonic gets into a fight with them, then St. Jeffrey shows up. That's the end of 49.
Sonic's foot count goes up to 4. This is really important.
I was going to say something else, but I forgot.
You know, I will say, when I looked at this panel, I was like, why? Why did they draw it like why did they draw it like
Why
that?
did they draw it like that?
In this part, we're going to draw Sonic with a really smelly looking foot.
I think I probably remember what I was going to say. I think this is the part where I start to feel like how Dorko felt early on, where he was getting sick of the whole, it was trickery all along. Because when they reveal how it works, is some technobabble bullshit. Like here, it's like the nanomachines in the eye of the Sonic mask.
Yeah, well, it's like if you look through the mask, everybody appears to be Snively, which it's stupid, but like I don't know, it's dumb, but it's. Listen, I played Metal Gear Solid. I can't say anything. It's dumb, but it worked for me.
Yeah, I didn't like the technobabble bullshit. I'm sorry. Just my 2 cents. On a separate note, we have some very extravagant Robotnik panels that I wish I had screen capped ahead of time. There's that one, and this one.
We get good Robotnik faces in this one.
That one?
Yeah, the one where he's gonna consume.
Well, I think they made it look weird just to make him look all monstrous on purpose, but also just looks weird. Look at those teeth, dude.
Me.
Yeah, I think so too.
Look at this tiny ass nose.
Wait, actually, speaking of
me when I see some popos in front of me.
Nobody will understand that.
Exactly, it's great.
But there's another good face that's hidden behind the like the pre-babble of the summary of the previous.
The puppets. He's pulling the strings.
He's pulling the strings. It's a good little piece of art. I like it a lot. I think it's neat. Yeah, I mean, this is okay. So I kind of want to go back to what Darko said as well, because speaking of devices that I'm kind of tired of, really was not into the idea that like Knuckles and Sonic and St. John could fight with. Honestly, they could beat him up.
Yeah, why was Knuckles being a dick?
The better version of this story is like being like, "Oh, hey, Knuckles," and then they fucking kill Jeffrey.
Yeah.
That would have made this the best arc.
I like how anytime Knuckles and Sonic are within like an inch of each other, immediately they just start fighting now. This is the entire character dynamic now, I guess.
Yeah, that like actually like so quickly I was like, oh yay, it's Knuckles, and then they start fighting again. I'm like, come the fuck on, not this shit again.
After I do like the Down Under stuff. Like, damn, speaking of like the depiction in a Sonic comic, like the moment that they're introduced to the That honestly, the whole like stream of pages was kind of fucked up. You know, Bunny and Anton wake up in Down Under, and they have two other of the Down Under freedom fighters with them in the same cell, and it's Barbie, Koala, and Walt Wallaby, and they got like cuts and like bandages, like flesh cuts all over their face. Like Barbie has like her eye cut, like her eyelid down, and she's like half her eye, like eyes closed, and then like Crocbot comes in, and the reaction of like the two Down Under freedom fighters is pretty visceral, and it's kind of like so fucked up because then he like follows up with the fact that he's just like, now I love to like torture them like as a hobby, torturing them mercilessly as a hobby. So it's like, damn, bro, that was rough as hell.
So real quick, I want to know if this cracked up anybody else for like these intensely drawn panels of like when they're the Down Under fighters or whatever about to like fight Crocbot. You know, it's so seriously drawn, and then like the next page, a couple panels, like you see it on the monitor. It's like a cartoon fight club.
Wait, I think I missed that. Do you have a
I'm trying to find it.
That. Yeah.
That might not have been in this one.
Maybe it was in the next.
In the next one, yeah. I do like, go in the same vein. The fucking cartoony faces.
I was gonna post that, like specifically the kangaroo guy's face.
Whoa!
Wow!
Whoa!
Crikey, mate!
So on this only funny to me specifically, the copy pasted Crocbot face across all these panels.
I someone didn't notice that. I guess it was speed rating.
I do like Crocbot, how like super fucking threatening he is in this. We once again, I didn't do a collage this time, but we once again get Anton face. I'm gonna call it Anton face from now on. Actually, who's the artist? I'm gonna name it after him.
Oh yeah, I think it's Sam Maxwell.
Sam Maxwell, Anton. Yeah, Sam Maxwell face. Sam face.
Just so I know I'm not like gaslighting myself, Crocbot was a guy in a previous issue we read.
Yeah,
correct?
the one where they
like he was the villain that was trying to sabotage Robotnik.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that I'm sure it's the same guy, this is the part where I think it was getting a little chaotic because now there's like this whole other faction with Crocbot.
Except he isn't another faction. Now he's actually like straight up working for Robotnik. Like Robotnik has like consolidated his reason. It's kind of it's interesting when you say that. Like the chaos is kind of like in a way reaching a crescendo of like order in some ways. I mean, you know that Snively is up to something. That's been set up. But like in this case, you know, our heroes are finally getting together. You know, near the end of this, Sonic, Knuckles, and St. John are all like fighting each other, and it's like you know, our three main heroes are together. We get that Down Under stuff. We learn why, you know, Doc Quack has been helping the enemy, and we learn that Crocbot is like directly working for Robotnik now without like any seeming like, what's the word, underhandedness. And then I don't remember, it's not in this issue, it's in the next issue. They do reference the fact that they are like getting direct shipments from Down Under, from Crocbot's like factories and stuff. So it's like it's coming to a head, and I do kind of like that aspect of like every time Crocbot has appeared, he's kind of like, sure, he is a Robotnik product, but like he's sort of acting on his own. Now it's like he's acting under Robotnik's or like direct orders, and he has seen success. He's captured the freedom fighter sect that's fighting there. He has really powerful like those combots working under him. It's a very interesting like change where it's like Robotnik is really like, he's winning, like big W's all around. Like he's got Knothole, he's got all the freedom fighters wrapped up, he's got the heroes on the run, he's got Down Under's like secured. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I like.
Yeah, that. I kind of like that the stakes keep going up as this goes along. Yup.
Yeah.
I will say that something I think is amusing is when I skim through like the original issue 50. As far as I can tell, like the stuff of Down Under and Crockbot, none of that was in the original.
Wait,
this is all Director's Cut exclusive.
So like they just set this up in 49 and then Anton and Bunny just appear?
No, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that okay, that's actually pretty big. That's wow.
Now I know it was cut.
I guess to give context to our listeners here, let's move on to number 50. So number 50, just so we're all clear, they did a super special. I know we've talked about it. A super special that was number 6. So to give you context, we read the first super special, which was that Battle Royale one. So the 6th one was released with a director cut of issue 50. So it's the end of this arc, this 4-part arc. Go ahead, Dorko, who are the artists and writers for this?
Fucking everyone. I don't know.
Fucking
Everyone is here.
Na 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 na.
You try looking at the credits. It's like Ken Penders, Michael Gallagher, Carl Boyles, Ken Taylor, Patrick Spaziante, Manny Glenn, Nelson Ortega, Sam Maxwell, Dave Manick. Oh, Ken Penders also drawing Art Mawini.
Oh my god, yeah, everybody did different like pages for this. I'm just kind of skimming through. I never realized it. What the hell?
Seriously?
Yeah, like okay, my brain is so bad, but I guess
I noticed the art style was shifting here and there.
I did notice the art style was shifting here and there, but I just
Alright.
kind of boiled it down to like
I thought I was just having a stroke seeing it. Whew.
yeah,
Nah, they did that.
that's kind of cool.
It's a big fucking issue, after all.
I wonder if different people did the scripts for each page too. That'd be so cool. Okay. Anyway, let's get the summary starting with
Alright.
Julian of the House of Ivo running for his life.
I'll get into that. But first, I would like to show everybody the. This is the cover that we did of the version that we did not read, like a big cool fight with Sonic and Robotnik. And here's the cover page that we got. I'm cutting a piece of it off because I'm lazy, but I'm showing you this just to gawk about how different this Robotnik looks. Look at this lip.
This is such a good Robotnik. I wanted to talk about it too. Look at his lip.
Look at his lip.
I don't know if
Look
I'd
at
call
the
it.
top of his
I
head.
don't know if I'd call it good, but it's something.
No, it's good because it's good to look at and have this moment with the boys, admiring his ball sack chin and his giant red lip. Why does he look like that? He looks like he's from some different series. Period.
He's gonna give me a big kiss, I feel like.
Yeah.
No.
Not from Robotnik, bro. Alright. Now to actually talk about this summary. We start with a flashback of Julian. Good old Julian. He doesn't look like Robotnik at all. He looks like a completely different guy at this point. Julian of the House of Ivo is under attack by two guys on orbs. He falls into some mud as his pursuers fly over and lose him. Charles, this is Uncle Chuck, right?
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Charles Entertainment Cheese before he got
that's Uncle
roboticized. And also Jules the Hedgehog. They find this dude, they pick him up, and they bring him to King Acorn and make him into a warlord. Robotnik wakes up from this flashback. His SWAT bots report. By the way, this guy sleeps in a tube. He sleeps in some kind of test tube.
He's got the Vegeta test tube, dude.
Bro, be normal. Sleep in a fucking bed. They report that they found him an Overlander to use as a test subject for his new device. He zaps the Overlander with a laser to incinerate him. And he is gone. Back at the island, a fight starts breaking out between Sonic Knuckles' gang and Stinky's gang.
Hey, Stinky!
Hey, Stinky! I lost my place in my...
I'm so sorry.
Okay, that was my fault.
Gang.
I minimized the thing to look at Discord, so it's my fault. Dulcie Dulce wakes up from being unconscious, breaks up the fight so that everybody can pull together and unite against Dr. Robotnik. We go back to Knothole. Tails and Rotor sneak around the place as it's been taken over by SWAT bots, with everybody lining up to get roboticized. But the two get caught by a guy working for a Crocbot division. And then back at Down Under, Bunny, Antoine, and those two freedom fighters from earlier proceed to break through the labor camp, making their way to the loading dock. The Down Under gang confronts Crocbot there so that Bunny and Antoine can escape to the Airbus back home. We go back to Knothole. Sonic, Knuckles, and St. Jeffrey arrive at Knothole, and a big fight against the SWAT boss breaks out, during which Sonic confronts Wolfman. I wrote Wolfman and not his name, so I forget. Drago, that's it. Immediately, we go back to Antoine and Bunny. I kind of didn't like how they kept like flipping back and forth here. Just a little too fast, but whatever. On a television, they see Robotnik boasting about his ultimate annihilator, and he boasts about his new weapon, and they escape to the Airbus. We go back to Drago, running away from Sonic. He bumps into Hershey the Catwoman, who finally lashes out against him, KOing him easily. Sonic shows up, and Hershey explains to him how everybody got duped, and how Sonic masks, nanomachines, etc., etc. Sonic is pissed. Sonic arrives at Robotnik's lair, smacks Snively out of commission, and finds Bunny and Antoine there. Antoine has a bomb to sabotage the place. Sonic goes after Robotnik, willing to go out in a sacrifice to ensure that the other two can safely get the bomb to the big laser. Sonic makes his way to Robotnik, but he is just too late, as Robotnik has hit the button to fire a laser at Knothole, unfortunately. Still, the other two, Bunny and Antoine, set the bomb to start taking out the cannon and leave, doing all that they could. With the reaction sure to blow Sonic and Robotnik to smithereens in the big war room, all that's left is for the two to go out in a big anime fight, face fighting each other, and it's great. Favorite part. After the explosion, Sonic pops out of a wormhole through a gold ring ? And passes out. He passes out in the dome, I think, but then he wakes up in Knothole, which is still alive and well, due to some space drift science involving them being hit before the Ultimate Annihilator overloaded. Sure. Dr. Quack comes forward saying that this is all his fault after the quest to get the sword began, Robotnik somehow picked up on a component of Quack's Dream Watcher to track the location of Knothole. He explains that Quack's device turned out to be a key part in Robotnik's plan, and then Quack's family was used as a hostage to force him to help. And then Robotnik used Drago to dupe everybody. Turns out that Snively tweaked the Annihilator to basically only affect Robotnik, leaving Quack with the option to pray things turn out the way they did. And that's that. Also, Sally is alive. The end.
In case y'all don't remember, the dream catcher thing, that was used when they went to the Zone of Silence to help King Acorn by going into his dreams to figure out what happened to him in the zone through his in his memories.
I did recall. Yes.
Okay, there's something that I realized that's like the part where they show Sonic with the ring, and it's that's how he survived the blast, but then they go Snively changed it so it was just going to go after Robotnik. I'm well, what the fuck was the point with the ring?
Yeah, that's why I put question mark. I thought he jumped through a pocket ring, but they didn't talk about it again, I think.
I don't know. The story is a fucking hot mess.
Yeah.
What was this comic about?
The Ultimate Annihilator.
So here's the thing with the ring. Because it is kind of hard to tell, but that one really fucking cool page with the pencil art, you can see the ring dropping from Sonic's glove, and then I think the implication is that he was in the ring and then he pops out of the ring, regardless of if the beam hit affected only Robotnik. I don't know. I guess maybe it was a preservation like reaction. Is how that's how I interpreted it, at least.
This is a weird comic.
Which, by the way, guys, read this issue, because just for like the art alone, like the art changes is really cool. Now that it's been pointed out to me, but also that like anime or Robotnik fight is really sick. Once again, we get like really fucking eloquent writing, which is really kind of out of left field a little bit.
So, can we talk about the Overlander things just coming out of fucking nowhere?
We can, but also it didn't. But like, let's hear it. I linked a fucking panel with Sonic's sweaty red face.
Thank you for that.
Overlander thing didn't come out of nowhere. It's been dropped here and there, maybe without the outward like expression of Overlander, but
I might have just sleepwalked through it. I don't know.
It was very minor, and it was in the background. We know that there was like a war that was happening for Robotnik to be instated as the warlord. Mm-hmm. And we know that there was like a war that Uncle Chuck and Charles participated in, and that a war that the kids were like privy to, that wasn't the war with Robotnik, because Robotnik's thing was basically an overnight coup. So there was a war that we knew about that was happening, and it was sort of implied, or I think there was like maybe not the word Overlander was dropped, but it was like Robotnik was used to help fight his own, like the way to figure out how to fight their own. I want to say that like I linked this page too, but Bean and Bark are there, which becomes really confusing.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't notice that. I thought it was neat to just threw him in there.
Bean and Bark, they were part of the war.
The war.
So is Grounder.
Yeah.
Grounder, and so is Ristar.
Yeah.
And I don't know who this like red hair guy is, but I know he's from a different game.
Oh,
Where's Grounder? Is that the green one in the back there?
Yeah, it's the green one right behind like the crystal scepter looking thing.
I like that Bark from Sonic the Fighters is there. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bean and Bark both. Yeah. They become characters later, but I guess they were just like
in the war.
Let's use them now. Yeah, they were in the war. Also, Ristar too. He's to the left of Bean.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually didn't notice him.
Yeah, and a Banjo-Kazooie enemy is also there in the top right corner. The eyeballs in the junk pile. I don't know. I'm sure that's supposed to be something else, but it looks really funny. It looks like a Banjo-Kazooie enemy, like an inanimate object with just eyeballs in the background.
Yeah.
Like thanks for
putting this. I fought in the war. Go.
I have thoughts on this one.
All right, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are like we're funding in the test tube.
Why is he in a tube?
I really like a lot of I'm just gonna link all the scenes that I really liked, because this is just a really long one, but this freaking like deadly like animals rushing into like savage maiming is really good.
Yeah, I think that's what I was talking about, where like just a little bit after that you see the cartoon fight clown.
Oh wait, I got distracted once again by that. You're right, it is like a Looney Tunes like dust cloud. Here, I got a screenshot of it.
It really struck me as funny because I was thinking about it, because like there's been moments before where like, man, what the tonal whiplash between these two different stories, where you have the serious story and the cartoony story, but then here it's the whiplash all in one story, baby.
The tonal whiplash happening live. I like the fight with like all the freedom fighters. Oh, I didn't notice this before, but the capsule, like the roboticizer, was like a Sonic capsule, like the one where you free the animals when you get on top of it. Rotor just freaking breaks that thing apart with his superhuman strength. And one of the things that they free is like a Smurf.
I like this perfect hole that Knuckles punches into this guy. It was It was like one clean chunk.
Thank you, Bob, for that.
Any other thoughts before I go into my thoughts?
I gotta go watch that movie again.
Did I post the sweaty? Yeah, I posted the sweaty face.
Yeah, it's Sweaty Sonic.
Sweaty Sonic, good. I have thoughts, but I think I'll wait until everybody else is done.
Here's my thoughts. The fight scenes carried. I don't. I did, like I just said, like I think it was the previous one or 48, I forget. The fucking technobabble on how they explain how they do their fucking trickery. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Like at all. I hate it.
Agreed.
But the fight scenes, I liked it, especially the Robotnik shit at the end.
Agreed.
Very good.
And I just remember another example is like, where you have like the intense action and cartoon. It was like the moment where Hershey like finally beats up Drago, and then like it just ends with like a cartoony, like he has like a cartoony bump on his head, like stars floating around his head or whatever.
Yeah, and just before that, she was gonna fucking like brain him with a boulder, dude.
So a fun fact
He
is
almost
that
died.
in the original version of the issue, that's partly because like that kind of wasn't there. Like it was basically just Sonic chasing after him. He's running, and then the cartoony rock throws on his head, and that's that. Like that's it. Like I guess
just Hershey appears.
Yeah, which kind of partially explains, like, well, that's why she goes into that long dialogue, just Sonic explaining everything. But
I mean, this is, I guess, what I was talking about when I was like, I like the context of like how shitty he was pretty good for this. Like, I loved you. I would have done anything for you, and then you used me like that. And then she was gonna fucking drop a boulder on his head. I'm like, I wouldn't have felt bad at all.
Get his ass.
Also, goddamn, she got moves, man. She like goes in. She starts with the fucking claw attack, and she like knees him in the stomach. Oh, and then she does like fucking gum gatling on his ass with one hand. She does the Chun-Li kick both her hand with her arm. Like a punch.
And then there was this.
Yes, I feel like you got to link all 3 pages in tandem to express like how cool of an effect it was.
Just link the entire fight scene. But yeah, this caught me off guard. This was really good.
Yeah, so before, like, there's the big anime fight, you get a bunch of like moves in one panel, and then it's like all these different things. The beam is fired, like the annihilation beam is fired, and it hits Robotnik. I really like specifically this panel here. This is, I don't know what it is about it.
Holy shit.
It's so cool to me. Like, it's not even particularly like, I mean, it's good. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it just tickles the brain well. Like, I know it's not like extraordinary or anything. It's just it's Pat Spaziante art. To give you an idea.
It's just good choreography, really.
So I know they said that the beam wasn't supposed to affect anybody but Robotnik, but I don't think that's true, because you can see like the holes piercing through like Sonic and like his feet and his head. So I feel like maybe that's not quite accurate. Maybe it was supposed to affect Sonic and Robotnik.
well, regardless, it's just not clear, and it's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I agree. It was messy. It was sloppy. It kind of goes back to where I suspect that this was maybe different people doing the script for each of the pages, or like a series of pages. Because the overall story is there. The overall intention is there, and it's pretty like clear. But like the like moment to moment stuff is kind of wacky. There's some plot holes. Like, it feels like things are jumping everywhere. You get Drago like in the sewers, and all of a sudden Drago's somewhere else. So it's like, yeah, it's wacky. It's a little bit bad, but
I think maybe partially it's also like they wanted to do like this cool, somewhat finale story for issue number 50, and it just didn't quite work out pacing wise. You know, like just trying to fit in the ending in 50 when I don't know. I'm not going to say necessarily it couldn't have been done better in one issue. Maybe another writer could have, but yeah, if you said this story's kind of rushed, it feels like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, okay, now that we've gotten to 50, I can say this after like this retrospective. Even though I like the concept of Sonic on the run and stuff, I feel like that could have been shortened to give us more content with like in regards to the bad guys' plan, more fleshing out on their perspective of stuff. I do like it on like the Sonic on the run, but I feel like that could have been done better. Like maybe that whole like chase between St. John and then getting to the floating island and the thing with Knuckles probably could have been all in one issue, and then 49 could have just focused on like, here's the perspective of the villains, like of what's going on. Like instead of giving us these flashbacks of well, I mean, I guess the Doc Quack flashback is like kind of the issue too. Is like it could have been probably set up a little bit earlier on, so they didn't have to rush through the explanations in the end. Like they could have probably just given a little more of a streamlined explanation, like instead of all these weird backgrounds.
I mean, I guess
stuff.
the awkward thing with that is that like, I mean, it's probably also that narrative thing of being like, oh, it was me, I'm the one responsible, and now I'm going to explain it, because like it's also partially a surprise, I guess.
It is true. I do like the idea that like the whole thing started with that dream catcher. I do like the fact that he was used as this like he was kind of the focal point, but I feel like also I guess like it would have been nice to get more buildup of Dr. Quack for the story then. I mean, you know, it's kind of like, wait, why is Dr. Quack here in issue 47? And then it's just like, well, okay, it's fine. He's fine. He's good. But then it's just like at the end, he's just like, yeah, it was like everything kind of like focused off of me. Like, and it's just like, well, shit, you probably should have given us like an issue or at least half of an issue to like give us this perspective. Like you know, you don't have to give us all the little details. Not, you know, like maybe don't explain the fact that Snively was altering, but like, you know, give us a little Dr. Quack story of like him getting captured, his stuff getting abused, his family getting captured, you know, him working under Robotnik, and then like you can fill in the little details here and there where he's like, where like, you know, like that scene with Draco, like where Dr. Quack is like working on the computer and he looks back and he sees Robotnik and Draco talking. Like maybe it could be just like, it could have been him on the computer doing something, you know, he have his thoughts on the situation, and all of a sudden he like looks back and you get a line from Robotnik about like how he's like, oh, I'm glad you've decided to join me or something like that, you know. It's like then it would have been like, who is that, you know, what's going on, we don't know what's happening. Maybe that could have set up the Draco like suspense a little more, you know. It would have been really, I don't know, I agree with you, it could have been done differently. I think that there was better ways to do it. The overall story I liked, though.
I will say that, like, on paper, I think the idea of, like, getting so many different artists to draw one story is kind of cool and novel, but in practice, I don't think I like it. I did not enjoy the constantly changing art styles in this.
I thought it was a bit jarring. I don't think you should do it again. I'm just giving it a pass just because it was the big 50.
Yeah.
I don't think this ever happens again, so I like it. I think it's novel. I think doing it one time is fine, and I enjoyed it. It is jarring, but it's also like it's fine because it's like such a unique situation, I guess. Like it's only happened once.
It's the big Robotnik.
Yeah, it's the big 50. It's the only time this happens. This is really neat. Kind of like you can tell there was a lot of like love put into it. The fact that everybody came back for it, or not back, but like was in it, you know, to do it. In a way, it's kind of, I brought this up before. It's cool that there were so many there was a time when this comic had so many artists. Sure, they weren't all good, and that's fine and fair to say. I still think it is a cool thing that there was like this big of a team, like a pool of artists to draw from. No pun intended.
Although apparently Ken Penders' original intention was for Sally to actually die, and I just want to say that would have sucked.
That would have sucked ass. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it would have sucked.
Typical Penders sexism.
Damn. Can you? I can't believe you said it after Hershey broke her abusive boyfriend and got out of that relationship.
I choose to believe that was ghostwritten by Mike Gallagher.
Sure. I mean, there was literally every person credited in this issue, so.
Or maybe Paul Dini came in and wrote one line that did that. I don't know. Hey, we don't know. Maybe Paul Dini worked on this.
I'm glad. So. Oh yeah, in case we kind of skirted past this, Robotnik is dead.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, he's dead.
So yeah,
he's gone. He has been killed.
We have cracked the egghead wide open.
So Sega said, "No, let's count our ducks, right?" Like Sega said, "Sally, fuck, you cannot kill this one. Are you kidding me? She's such a pivotal part of our brand. Dr. Robotnik, he can go. That's fine."
I'm going to assume it came. I might have read this, but I'm going to assume it came with a note of, sure, kill him off, bring him back though.
I mean, that's fine, but also it's a little silly. I think. I mean, like, why don't you just kill Sally off and then bring her back too? Somewhere. Give me the billionth ring to bring Sally back.
Well, I think there might have also been a negative fan reception at the time too. Like, maybe people also did not enjoy Sally dying.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't have liked that either if I didn't know that she was not, like, if I was reading this month to month, I would have been like hella pissed if she was not back. I wish Hershey was introduced better. She becomes kind of cool later on. Thinking back to this being her origins, aside from that like really good fight scene with her like just wiping ass on Draco.
Has Hershey shown up at all before this, or?
No, I think she's a new character.
I see, because she seemed a little out of nowhere.
She's a new character, which is fine. I don't think it's a bad idea to introduce a new character for something like this, but
I mean, yeah, this is.
I mean, the fact that Drago like just.
I think I must say I'm with Dork on this one. That the Drago abuse just seemed too serious a theme for animal dudes fighting the science man.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been better if there was more build up to that.
Little bit, yeah.
I know I mentioned that I was like I think it's a good idea to vilify a character beyond just the cartoony. I think it's okay even in something like this. It just has to be done better.
It's just a matter of tastefulness.
Yes.
Yeah.
I suppose this was just a little on the nose for me. Just my 2 cents.
I'm not going to defend it. Or I'm not going to say I'm defending it because of this, but it is also 1996, 97, which is, not to say that excuses it, but just to put the year into perspective of when this was written.
Right.
With also like by a person who, to be fair, is fairly like a liberal, and so I guess in that time period, I guess maybe the mentality was like, look, I'm making this really shitty man, and then like I'm going to have her like you go girl moment, I guess. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's poorly done, but the intention, I guess, was there. Not that it's an excuse, but that's just to just lay it out.
It's so funny to think about the original version of that was like, here's her moment to shine. She throws a rock on his head and cartoon.
That's so bad. That's so bad. I would have been so upset if I would have not been here, and I would not have said what I did if I didn't know that. Like, if I remembered the fact that original 50 didn't have anything of like that fight scene or anything.
To lighten the mood a little bit, at the end of the special, there's like a black and white image for the Freedom Fighters comic. I don't know if you guys had that in your versions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's there. I forgot to bring
it
that
is. I'm going to post an image in here, and I want you guys to tell me if this looks familiar. Because that's the reference.
What?
Oh, so that's what
That's
that
the
was.
reference,
I
yeah.
see.
Oh.
For the I forgot, this is a podcast. It is a direct recreation of the first Fantastic Four issue.
I mean,
For
I guess I should
some
also
reason.
post the Sonic parody version. Then,
Yes.
I guess. I did think that drawing was really weird. I was like, what the heck is going on here? I was like, oh, it's just a strange reference.
I don't know
This is
why
weird.
it's there, but I mean, it's a reference to that.
This is kind of cool, actually.
That would make sense if people working on comics are passionate about other comics.
They really like the
I mean, it's
Fantastic
happening.
Four
Yeah.
and Batman Forever.
A rotor root canal.
God, I fear for the issues that come out in 1999. Can't wait for all those Batman and Robin references.
I know I always ask you for this, Dorko. I always want to reference it for the podcast, but like that way back, I don't even remember where this was posted. Some image board. It might have been like on 4chan or something, or Tumblr, of that, like the quality like graph for the comic. Every time I reread the comic, I'm always like, Dorko, do you have that thing? Like, Dorko's not even reading this comic. I always go to him for it. He has it! Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we've got him. We got it.
Well, isn't this
I'm
exciting,
so-
fellas?
Oh,
Look at the
really?
graph. Look at after 50. Look at
It's all downhill from here, baby. According to some guy.
Do not tell me it was like this high, and it's going to get like this bad. Like, oh god.
I don't know, because I think it's all funny, but we'll see. I'm
And
just
going
excited.
ahead that far, that looks sad. That golden age of Archie Sonic, it just lasts that little. It's just,
50 to 70 issues, yeah.
I don't know if this podcast is gonna last.
No, dude. Okay, all right, but there's so much funny content, but like between 85 and 160, like I can't wait to meet Tommy the Turtle and then kill him. I mean,
that doesn't. Well, I mean, huh?
huh? Who's Tommy the Turtle? Sorry, my bad.
Stop spoiling stuff. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Just like Big the Cat, we're not there yet.
No, we get so much shit. We get Shadow the Hedgehog coming up. We got
Oh no.
we got humans coming up. We got aliens and shit. Like we got Knuckles. Oh my god, we got Knuckles.
Oh fuck!
we got
Don't remind
Knuckles
me.
and Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles.
We do. Pretty much like see, this guide doesn't include the Knuckles stuff. That's the problem.
It's just like paste the Knuckles, and then like the the quality dips even further down.
Fuck you. Fuck you. There's probably some good.
I'm sorry. I trust Dorko more in this situation.
I mean, I'm kind of excited, but I'm also dreading it.
Bro, yeah. I mean, I've kind of come on to the dark side of this situation in any way. I'm just trying
Or is
to have a
Dorko
positive
the light
outlook.
side?
No, he's not. I won't stand for this. Fuck, dude. Okay, I guess. I don't know. I've explained this in the very beginning. I'll say it again. I just love Knuckles. I'm glad he gets attention. It's shit, but it just shows I'm not the only Knuckles stan in the world. It's popular enough that it kept getting published.
Hey, I like
Kids wanted to see
I think
it.
it's cool.
I like Mega Man. You know what I got right now? NFTs.
It could always be
Well,
worse.
That you know
Could
what?
always be worse.
Hey, at least it's not NFTs. That's what I'm saying. No Knuckles NFTs.
I'm gonna add the Sonic Twitter and ask for the Knuckles NFTs.
No.
You know what? No, I'm
you're
gonna
not.
add Ken Penders.
Actually,
He doesn't.
I think he did
Actually-
have plans for NFTs or something.
Oh no.
He did, but then like somebody told him how NFTs are bad, and he's like, "Oh, never mind."
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, I remember that a while ago. I think I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, listeners. But I'm pretty sure I remember it being like, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get in on this NFT thing with my Lara Sue stuff." His Echidna verse.
I just realized I just realized we're cursed. If Ken Penders' comic, The Lara Sue Chronicles, ever exists, if it ever releases, we're gonna have to read it.
We have to read it. We can't not read it.
I'm just gonna have to keep praying that it never is finished.
But I want to know.
I'll have to see him.
I want to know how he ties Barack Obama into the story.
Barack Obama's in the story?
Yeah. Well, he's in the original artwork for it.
No, I think it's just the kind of thing of like he's drawing a face and he based it off someone.
Oh, okay. Damn, I was like, wait, now my interest is officially peaked again. If Barack Obama officially makes an entrance in the comic.
Oh, let me be clear. Dr. Robotnik is going down.
Oh, let me be clear. You mean the Chaos Emerald?
Allow me to be clear. I hope you like my awful attempt at the gastro noise.
Oh!
Yeah, that's what that was.
Can we?
I've lost my train of
It was a
thought.
funny noise nonetheless, so it was good.
Can we end?
Yeah, what were we
Can
talking
we end this?
about?
Can we?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, okay, next episode, we're finally getting into the new saga, the new kind of build up to a bunch of new plots, background on the Acorn Kingdom, the fallout of the Robotnik Wars. We get reunited with loved ones, heartache, pain, suffering, but through it all, triumph and magic? ? Yeah, a lot of wizardy bullshit again. So look forward to that, my dear listeners.
It's all downhill from here, isn't it?
It's
Yes.
There's some nuggets of gold, I feel like, in there. Just for context, even I don't particularly care for this saga of comics. Even my endless well of optimism for this series is somewhat challenged in this portion. We're starting strong with 2 issues of Sonic 51 and 52, and then right into the Knuckles series with 4, 5, and 6, the new Knuckles story arc that spans those 3 issues. Maybe the super special number 2, Brave New World. We'll see. I'll double check to see if we can budget the time for that and making sure it makes sense with the current plot. But from now on, it's pretty much going to be like 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 type of deal, where it's like usually storylines will be 1 or 2 issues for Sonic to 3. Knuckles will be 3 issues for each story arc. Ish. May not be consistent, but that's typically the trend. Final thoughts? Closing thoughts?
Okay, so Drago was kind of a blotch on what was otherwise an acceptable attempt on the growth of maturity, at least throughout the last 50 issues, but obviously it peaked here. I liked it. It is mostly more the same for me, just silly fun, just good fun, but at least they did not fuck up the big anime fight with Robotnik, so yeah, I thought it was nice to at least see that, the whole 50 issues of build up just to see that. That was good. They didn't fuck that up, so I'm happy about that at least.
I was kind of looking forward to this arc, and I'm kind of just disappointed and let down.
Well, yes, they fucked it up because, like I said before, all this techno babble to explain all the shit that's been going on, and it didn't bother me that bad at first, but yeah, it was another Sonic's the bad guy. Oh, oops, no, he's not. So yeah, that definitely could have been better, but having said that, I am all right just because the cool fight at the end.
Yeah, there was at least nice art here and there and whatnot.
Harv, any closing thoughts?
No.
Okay, how about Darko? Any closing thoughts? Besides the disappointment is immeasurable, smile and optimism gone forever.
I guess I'm just wondering, like, how's this gonna go? Like, you know, when I think about it, like, Eggman is kind of one of my favorite characters, and now he's fucking dead. Like, even when the story sucked, I at least Robotnik's there. I don't have that crutch anymore.
Yeah, I will miss Robotnik. I like this funny man who's always up to no good.
I do wonder. I'm actually kind of curious. I'm like, maybe like there will be something in this drought that like is surprisingly better. Now,
Maybe.
just for the sake of the comic's maturity, I'm curious to see what y'all think. But my closing thoughts are pretty aligned with the boys. You know, I always look forward to the last arc here. I think the art's neat. I love the story setup. I agree. I kind of go back on a lot of what I said with Drago. I was just mainly trying to look for like just grasping straws of like, well, the character development and stuff, and just the display of a better villain is not necessarily like the correct statement, but I will say I still enjoyed the characters that were in it. Lots of really good Anton, lots of really good Rotor like moments in it. Like a lot of characters have moments in it which I like. So overall, yes. You know, analyzing it, going through it, not just like kind of going through it like a comic that's been out and just reading it in the evening in bed. I realize now, you know, it's not as good as I remembered it, and I realize it's not as good, but there's still like things in it I enjoy. I've come to realize that this podcast has now probably ended my cycle of rereading this comic.
We've cured him, boys.
We fixed him.
That's the power of magic, baby.
This was actually an intervention the whole time.
Listen, I've got the boys to read it with me. That's all I wanted. This is literally the whole reason this started. I was like, I want Dorko to read it, and then Bob was like, you know what, I'm kind of perfect, and I just dragged Harvek.
Look, I'm not gonna bully you. This comic has its highs every now and then, and there were some pretty good ones this session. It's just, you know, I think you also have your reasons for not wanting to read this ever again.
Or not wanting to read it, period. Also, sorry, these were 2 hours. This is
yes,
finale.
but I intentionally decided not to try to force a stop because, I don't know, this was kind of a big deal of an issue of a session, just the big ending. So
Big boy.
I had fun. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. And once again, it all goes back to Sonic. Even Sonic goes back to Sonic. Goodbye.
the Ouroboros of Sonic. See ya.